This video is really just an excuse for me to wear my Harry Potter robe again, and I'm not gonna apologize. Best decision ever! Good morning, WordNerds. It is stupid early. It is Wednesday, May 28th, 2014, and on today's episode of Wordplay Wednesday, I'm going to talk to you about the difference between passive voice and active voice. Let's learn some things. There are two main kinds of sentences, passive voice or active voice. Every sentence is one or the other. Active voice sentences are usually short, powerful, and direct. They're the types of sentences favored in most books, and though passive does have its literary purposes as well, which I will get into later on, active voice is primarily the type of voice you want to be writing in. Why is that? Well, simply put, passive voice is passive. Go figure. Passive voice is usually wordier and less direct. The agent doing the action in the sentence is usually not named, so there are some unknowns in passive sentences, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. Passive sentences are sometimes seen as weaker because they are wordier than necessary. Why use 10 words to say something you could say in 5? There's a quick test you can give a sentence to see if it's passive or active, and I call it the zombie test. If you can add the phrase "by zombies" into a sentence after the verb and it makes sense, you've got a passive sentence. Remember this rule. I'm going to give you 2 examples of sentences in active voice first, and then we will put them into passive voice to see if you can tell a difference. Active. Voldemort gave Harry Potter a scar. Now in passive voice, the same sentence would be, Harry Potter was given a scar. As you can see in this sentence, the passive sentence, we don't know who gave Harry the scar. Now, I read the book, so I do know who gave Harry the scar, but in that sentence, Voldemort is an unnamed agent. Another version of this sentence in passive voice would be, Harry Potter was given the scar by Voldemort. Now, Voldemort takes a back seat in this sentence and takes a more passive role in giving Harry the scar, and the focus is instead shifted onto Harry Potter himself. Typical, and not the fact that Voldemort was the one giving him the scar. Make sense? Sentence number 2. Bellatrix Lestrange tortured Neville Longbottom's parents. That's an active sentence. A very gruesome active sentence, but active nonetheless. Bellatrix Lestrange is obviously named, and she is the one performing the action onto Neville's parents. That action just happens to be torture, but Bellatrix, what are you gonna do? A passive version of the sentence would be, Neville Longbottom's parents were tortured by Bellatrix Lestrange. Bellatrix, again, is taking a passive role in this because she is moved to the back of the sentence, so less emphasis is put on Bellatrix, and more of the focus is put on the fact that Neville Longbottom's parents are the ones being tortured. Another version of this sentence in passive voice would be, Neville Longbottom's parents were tortured. We don't know who was doing the torturing, we only know who was being tortured. Neville Longbottom's parents. Now real quick, let's do the zombie test and see if the passive sentences do indeed hold up to scrutiny. They will, but let's do it anyway. So the first sentence, what was the first sentence? The scar was given to Harry Potter by Lord Voldemort. If we take out Lord Voldemort and add by zombies, the scar was given to Harry Potter by zombies. It works. It's not factually accurate, but grammatically it works, so passive. Sentence 2. Neville Longbottom's parents were tortured by Bellatrix Lestrange. Wipe out Bellatrix, add in zombies. Neville Longbottom's parents were tortured by zombies. Again, it works. Is it correct factually with the book? No. But because by zombies makes perfect sense grammatically in this sentence, it is indeed written in passive voice. Check number 2. And if we try it in the active sentences, Lord Voldemort gave by zombies Harry Potter the scar. That makes no sense, so active voice. And Bellatrix Lestrange tortured by zombies Neville Longbottom's parents is also a very confusing, grammatically incorrect sentence, so another active voice sentence. Simple trick to remember, easy to try out and test yourself. If you can put by zombies behind the verb of the sentence and it makes sense, you've got yourself a passive voice. Remember the by zombies rule, because for this one time only, zombies might save your life. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. Quick review over active sentences again. Active sentences features a few things. First, it features a subject or agent performing the action. Second, it features a transitive verb and a direct object. The benefit to active sentences are that there are fewer words, it's more engaging to your readers, it's concise and direct. The disadvantages are sometimes active sentences do come across harsh, especially if it's a tough subject, so you might accidentally offend the readers with its forwardness. You're also in active sentences directly naming the agent who performs the action or the verb, and if you want to conceal the identity of the person, it's kind of hard to do that in active sentences, which is where passive sentences come in. Passive sentences are not always sinful sentences. In fact, they can be written with literary purpose. Passive sentences features a subject or agent who is acted upon, an auxiliary verb like to be, and a past participle of the main verb. And finally, in some passive sentences, there is a phrase with by blank in it. So, by zombies. Like I said, there are some advantages to using a passive sentence. You're concealing the responsibility. You don't know who's performing the action, and that can be great if you're trying to be secretive or hold back a name or have it be more ambiguous. It diminishes any kind of harshness to the message because it's taking a back seat. It's not active and in your face, it's kind of more passive. Well, passive sentence. And it also emphasizes the recipient of the action instead of the action itself. There are disadvantages to passive sentences. There are more words in passive sentences. It can be tedious to read. It doesn't engage the audience as well. It's indirect and sometimes vague. While some vagueness is fine in your writing, if it's too vague, you're going to start frustrating readers. So the bottom line between active and passive sentences are if you can put the words by zombies behind the verb, passive sentence. If it doesn't work, then it's an active. Primarily in your writing, you will want to use active voice because it is more engaging and direct and concise, and really you don't want to be an overly wordy author when you can say the same thing just as well, if not better, in fewer words. That's what journalism taught me. Sometimes less is more. But don't think that you can't ever use passive voice. Passive voice does serve a literary purpose at times, and if you use passive voice wisely, that can make a big impact. If you have any questions about passive and active voice that I did not cover that you want answered, ask them below and I will try my very best to answer all of them. Big announcement. Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are having a live WordNerd chat. It is for Book Expo America, BEA. It is going to be a BEA armchair chat, and we are going to talk about vlogging as an extension to blogging. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're all going to be here, and it's going to be really exciting because Book Expo America. You know? How cool is that? We also, over the weekend, hit 500 subscribers, and we want to thank you from the very bottom of our nerdy hearts. Thank you for watching our videos. Thank you for liking them and subscribing to us. Thank you, anybody who's ever seen any of our WordNerd videos, even if it's just one or if you've seen all of them from the very beginning. We appreciate you and we love you nerds so much. So to celebrate our 500 subscribers and also to celebrate Kelly and Megan's birthday, which is later this week, happy early birthday! We're having a WordNerd party hangout on Sunday. Normal Sunday schedule time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we will have pajamas, candy, games for you guys to play along. I think there might be bingo. Maybe? Did I dream about that, or was that a thing that we actually talked about? I love you, nerds, and I will see you later tonight! Let's hope I wake up by then.